We got the first piece together. It's rapidly starting to look like I kind of bit off more than I can chew here, to be honest. It's fine. We're just gonna push on. We're just gonna push on and hope for the best. Right, here's something I found out straight away. You'd think that main components of the bike, which you're gonna have to assemble, you know, on their own and then add later to the whole model, you'd think they'd be in like all the pieces would be in the same bag. No, actually, I've assembled one piece so far and taken out these 3 pieces, and I've had to go and get something out of every single bag. Seems like a bit of an own goal there, but okay, let's press on. Okay, we're 10 minutes in. I wish I had more space. I'm finding it quite confusing going in and out of all of these individual bags, so in an attempt to just kind of like clean up, I've assembled a few tins and whatnot, just in an attempt to kind of like simplify what's on the desk, because it's pretty confusing. Maybe there is like some kind of arrangement to the pieces in the individual bags, but if there is, I can't see it. Maybe I'm just too thick to realise, but if you're a Lego expert, I'm sure you can weigh in the comments and let me know all of the things I do wrong tonight.
Please don't forget to subscribe and like this video.
I've got to say, this is pretty sweet. All of these individual bits are like perfectly shaped. There's no, you know, like manufacturing marks or moulding marks or anything. Everything is just perfect, exactly as you'd expect. Lego is such a cool company. I bet the designers there have a lot of fun when they're at work. Okay, that's better. That's better. All right, cool. I feel like I feel a bit more organised now. I'm feeling better, feeling positive. This is what we've assembled so far. Looks to be maybe the kind of like initial part of the frame, like the first casting for the frame. I'm guessing that the engine's probably going to sit here. Like that. Handlebars up here, maybe. Suspension coming down, front wheel. We'll see. By the size of the front wheel, this thing's actually going to be like a lot bigger than I initially anticipated. Well, it says that this is the size of the brake rotor. This is all the kind of the information it gives you. It says, hey, here's the size of the brake rotor. Figure out for yourself how big the model is. It's bigger than I anticipated, I have to say that. This is going to look great. You know what? The fact that this is 10 plus, I'm, you know, a 29-year-old man. I'm literally having the time of my life here. If you think you're too old for Lego, I highly recommend you reconsider. This is literally the coolest thing. Look at that. So this model's got quite you know, a couple of cool features. If I can get my words out, it's got a couple of cool features, guys. So it's got a working gearbox. You can see the gearbox working, which is super interesting. Working suspension, working chain, drive, all of that kind of stuff. This is going to be a really cool model, honestly. Let's get back to it. You know, I think they're absolutely spot on when they kind of market this as like a learning toy. And how it's appropriate for young people, because you actually could learn quite a lot of stuff putting one of these together. You know, like the principle of how this piece is held on here is exactly the same as just how a pin or a rivet would work in the real world. And yeah, like I said, you could definitely learn a lot about mechanics and quite a bit about engineering and design, I think, by playing around with one of these. If you have any interest at all in kind of mechanical engineering and design and things like this, pick up a few Lego models, you know? You'll probably end up having more fun than you thought, and you never know, it might help you learn something. Starting to come together. Can anyone tell what it is yet? Because I am not sure. I think I was totally wrong earlier about it being like the front part of the frame, so Just gonna have to sit tight and see what happens. I'm starting to think this is going to be the fuel tank. This piece here has got kind of that classic angry red Ducati feel about it. Hold tight, we'll see if my prediction's right. That looks pretty fuel tanky, doesn't it? Pretty petrol tanky. Subscribe for more footage of me rummaging around in pots. Yeah, that looks all right. That looks good. That looks good. I'm feeling more positive. The more pieces I put in, the better it feels. I was feeling very ropey about this whole affair to begin with. There's just so many pieces. It's quite intimidating, to be honest. But yeah, I just kept ploughing on, reminding myself that I was over the age of 10, so it should be fine. And yeah, yeah, it's starting to look good. Starting to look good. The instructions are great. The instructions are great. It's basically everything you need to know. At one point I was like, no, that's wrong. I was looking at the diagram and I was like, no, that can't be right, that can't be right. They must have misprinted it. No, they printed it perfectly. It was obviously me that made the mistake. Okay, so this now is starting to look a bit more like the subframe of a motorbike. All right, okay, we're on to the next bit and already it's starting to look really interesting. This looks like the gearbox to me. Hopefully you can show you how it works and stuff before we actually put it in the bike. Don't know of any other models that have this, the other Lego bits that have like a fully working gearbox and stuff. I did have a quick browse around on the Lego website. They've got some insane stuff on there. Honestly, I'll put a link in the description below. Go and check it out because it really is pretty impressive, some of the stuff they've designed. They've got some really obscure stuff as well, like $400 like piece of obscure Lego like mining machinery, just entirely made out of Lego. Looks amazing. Hit subscribe, guys. Like and subscribe so we can get the $400 Lego mining equipment and put that together, because honestly that just looks amazing. Just found a little sword. That's quite interesting. I wonder what that's. Wonder what the sword's for. Maybe it's in there by accident. No, no, it's here. There is a sword here. But well, apparently there should be two. What the hell is that for? Okay, we're starting to get just a little bit spicy here. We've got some cogs going on. Man, there really is quite a lot of sifting around in boxes involved in this pastime. This is definitely starting to look very gearboxy now. There's a little bushing, slides on. Fucked it up. Okay, no I didn't actually. Fuck's sake. The pressure of doing this on camera is severe, okay? It actually definitely makes a difference. This is so cool. Oh, I'm honestly having the time of my life, guys. This is so good. You know, there's definitely a sense of achievement involved in doing this. I mean, it's more complicated than you think, for sure. Like, it is a case of just following the instructions, but like, it is quite easy to mess it up, to be honest. And there's a kind of like troubleshooting process, go back, what have I done wrong? Oh, it's one piece, put it back. You know, there's a lot going on here. It's just so cool. You've got to get one of these, honestly. Ooh, Gearbox. I'm guessing this goes on here as well. That would make sense. So this is obviously going to link up with all the stuff that's in here, all the guts that's in here. And what we should end up with is basically a 3-speed gearbox. Well, a 2-speed and a neutral gearbox, I guess. Alright, gearbox is going in. Oh, fuck. Ruined straight away. Okay, let's go for another try. It's quite difficult to do it so you guys can see it, to be totally honest with you. I think we're good. I think we're good. I think we've got it. God, this is stressful. I really don't want to break it. It doesn't feel like it will break, to be honest. It feels really well made. Oh yeah, that felt good. Okay. We're well on our way to having a little bike here. Sweet. We're making good progress now. We've got engine parts going in. So one of the cool things about this bike is that it has quite an unusual engine configuration. It's actually a V4, which is not a very common engine that you find in motorbikes. And it's basically like a V8 chopped in half. Imagine a V8 that's been chopped in half. Pretty unique. Nice. All the pieces like fit together so well. Everything's like, you feel it kind of like click home, bam. It's nice. This is really cool. Check it out. 2 tiny conrods and 4 tiny little piston heads. There's your V4, guys. This has got to be, without a doubt, the coolest thing we've picked up for the channel. Honestly, this is the most fun I've had with something that we've picked up from the internet in ages. I've got to show you guys something. This red gear here, I've just popped that in. Now look at this. The gear select lever, just here. At the moment it's in the middle position. I'm turning the crankshaft, nothing's happening. And now I'm going to push it up slightly, push the gear lever into the upwards position, and I'm going to turn the crankshaft. And look, it turns the gearbox! Just like it would on a normal bike. And now I'm going to go into neutral, and now nothing. And now I'm going to put it in gear, and it's going to go. Amazing. Just found this part. Interesting. It's starting to get a bit spicy. Premium suspension components coming in. I've just pushed in this this tiny pin here, and suddenly we've got working suspension. I've got to show you this again. Oh yeah. And then neutral, nothing happens. Put it in gear, engine moves. Put it in neutral, nothing happens. I've just added this little piece here, this little lever. I'm going to take this O-ring, just push it over there. Now, hopefully what we've got indexed gears. So there we go, here's neutral. Here's first. Here's second. How cool is that? Alright, time for another key phase. I've assembled the front end. and we're going to mount it onto the rest of the body here. Really starting to come together, isn't it? Alright, got the rear wheel going on now. Notice something interesting. The way the rear wheel is offset to accommodate for the brake rotor and the swinging arm. That's quite interesting. It really is amazing how much detail they've gone to with these models. You can kind of see, if you look on the website, how much more effort has gone into the branded ones. They sell like some generic like Lego Technics, beach buggy and things like this, which are, you know, not exactly mind-blowing. And then they have like the collabs, you know, the projects with other brands, and you can see that they've put an enormous amount of effort in. This really is quite an amazing little model. So cool. I'm doing the chain now, guys, which is just loads of these tiny individual chain links. As you can see, I'm just putting the chain on now. This is kind of like a crowning moment, to be honest. Now this is on, we should be able to see the engine and the transmission working as we move the bike around. I've got kind of big fingers for this job. Let's put the bike in gear. I finally found where this piece goes. Let's just quickly assemble it here. So this quite interesting, uniquely shaped part. It goes right here where the rider sits. Probably shouldn't read too much into that. Here we've got the seat cowl going on. Looking good. Watch this. You see that? So this piece that I just assembled, I inserted one part here and then rotated the whole piece on an axis and inserted it in this part here, which goes to show just how precisely these individual pieces are manufactured. The tolerances must actually be quite tight, because everything fits together perfectly every single time. It's really, really impressive. All right, this is such an important stage. The dashboard is going on. Is that the right way up? Yeah, cool. How embarrassing would that be? Front end going on here. Here it is, the finished product. What an absolutely amazing little thing. This has been, without a doubt, my favourite item for things from the internet. I've been seriously, seriously impressed with it. Even came with a little track stand, or at least assembled a separate track stand, so we can actually stand it up. There was supposed to be, I don't know, so I've got some spare bits. I've got some bits left over. This is my first Lego model in about 25 years, maybe. So, is that normal? I don't know. I've pored over the instructions, and I can't see where they would go. Are they just spares, maybe? I was missing a piece. This like windshield piece that goes here, and that was nowhere to be seen. But I mean, it's just as likely to have been my mistake. I could easily have lost that. Actually, I've literally just found it. You would not believe it. I've actually just found it. Look. Okay, ignore that. I found it, guys. I've absolutely found it. Oh my god. Oh, it's a good job we edit these, isn't it? Okay, this is great. This is great, because this means we can do the finishing touch. The finishing touch. You know, looking at these spares, it looks like we've got one of each of all of the smallest parts. One of each of all of the smallest ones, and a duplicate of the most used one. I mean, that would make sense, wouldn't it, for spares? Hopefully this whole thing's not just going to fall apart. Nice little windshield going in there. Held in place nice and securely by a pair of swords. Is it like that on the original bike? Ducati owners, let us know in the comments. Man, that's cool. Yeah. I am absolutely chuffed with that. Alright, I guess that wraps it up for my favourite ever Things from the Internet episode. If you like what we do, it'd be great if you could give us a like and a subscribe. 2 episodes a week. Every episode we get something interesting or strange or weird from the internet, and we talk about it. Smell you later.
This video was brought to you by DeadeyeClub.com, makers of the Wishbone EDC slingshot. Head over there now and consider picking up their $100 Mischief kit, which includes everything you need to start shooting a slingshot. The Wishbone itself, 3 replacement band sets, and some ammo. It's the most fun you can have for $100 and you'll be supporting the channel.